Number 19, North Carolina traveled this way on the map to face off in College Park against number 4, Maryland. North Carolina sitting at 6-2, Maryland at 7-1, so both teams enjoying an excellent first half of their seasons, and this old bitter rivalry being renewed at this point in the season to start both teams' second half of their seasons, or I could almost say final kind of third of their seasons. Great way to do it, and it didn't disappoint, at least not early on. UNC's Timmy Kelly opened the game scoring, finding rope just a minute and 16 seconds into the contest. An excellent start to the day for the Tar Heels. Kids at home, you watch this score again in slow motion. That's how you ask a question. After that, Anthony Demaio decided to mess around and score himself a natural hat-trick, giving Maryland a 3-1 lead by the end of his tear. The first coming with 12:20 left in the first, only 1 second left on the shot clock, and the final tally beating Bassil with 4:32 remaining in the same period, dished by none other than number 12, Logan Wisnowskis. Jacob Kelly would answer Demaio with an unassisted goal 34 seconds later for the Heels off a turnover forced by UNC's face-off gang. This got North Carolina back to within a goal, looking good, 3-2 Maryland. Enter the Maryland Big Cats. Logan Wisnowskis ripped rope with just 8 seconds left in the first quarter, giving Maryland a 4-2 lead, and again the shot clock was down to 3, so Maryland, as usual, efficient late into possessions. But he wasn't done, striking again just 62 seconds later, extending the Terps' lead to 3 goals. Demaio's feed on this was incredible, and at this point, he's doing everything. Fellow player pimp Jared Bernhardt was feeling left out and decided to get in on the fun, netting a man-up goal on a dish from Bubba Fairman, and got jiggy again to close out the 5-0 Maryland run 2 minutes and 11 seconds later, once again on a feed from Fairman. Alex Trippy, who's having a great season, stopped the bleeding for North Carolina just over halfway through the second, 7-3 Terps. But the Terps weren't done running away with this game, as Will Snyder followed up a Wisnowskis goal with one of his own, thanking Wisnowskis for the feed, and Louis Dubik added insult to injury with just 16 ticks remaining in the first half, extending Maryland's lead to 7, 10-3 Maryland. Tim Kelly would provide a ray of light for UNC, netting the third quarter's first 2 goals over the first 5 minutes of the second half, but it would end up proving too little, too late. After a Kyle Long score, Jared Bernhardt would continue to show why he's considered one of the top attackers in the country by sticking a shot that used the dirt, extending Maryland's lead to 13-5. Alex Trippy would factor yet again for the Tar Heels with a little over 3 minutes left in the third quarter, but Logan Wisnowskis would make sure UNC's hopes were short-lived, scoring his 4th goal of the contest just 1 minute and 26 seconds later. Again, the Terps scored with just 2 seconds left on the shot clock, 14-6 Maryland. UNC would score 3 goals over a 2-minute span to start the fourth quarter, trying to keep things interesting, capped by an Andy Matthews strike, catching Dolan out of the cage with 12:03 remaining in the fourth. Could this become a ball game? 15-9 Terps. But Anthony Demaio decided he wasn't done, scoring his 4th goal of the game. He got murked after he let it go, but the end result, the final nail is in the coffin, and the deal is sealed. Ball game. Terps win 16-9. Logan Wisnowskis got freaky on the day, bagging 4 goals and 4 assists. Anthony Demaio was good for 4 goals and a helper, and Jared Bernhardt wasn't far behind with 3 goals and a dish. Danny Dolan won the goalie battle for Maryland, coming up big in cage with 12 saves versus 9 goals against. Alex Bassil looked shaky between the pipes for UNC, making just 7 saves versus 16 goals against. UNC was paced by Timmy Kelly's 4 goals. And what's this mean for North Carolina? Not much. They lost to a team that was better on this day. They're still looking good heading into ACC play. For Maryland at 8-1, things couldn't have started better, especially after losing a guy like Connor Kelly, trying to figure out how the offense was going to work. They lose a game early in the season. They get upset. So they had a hard time offensively figuring out who they were initially, and defensively things hadn't completely come together yet at that point, but Danny Dolan has looked solid in cage. That's been key to this stretch. Maryland defensively has handled their business, and offensively, they have an identity. Jared Bernhardt, who kind of tried to figure out how he was going to be the new guy wearing number 1. He's playing incredible lacrosse off ball, a nod to the fact that he had to play midfield last year. And when he needs to dodge to the cage and create and score goals, he does. The reality is, though, between Wisnauskas and Fairman and just the band of characters that have come together to lift this team to 8-1, Bernhardt hasn't had to do too much. He's been able to let the games come to him and just quietly put up really quality points in his junior season.